And welcome back to Kings of Influence. I am one half of your hosting team, Ray William Johnson.
I'm the other half, Epic Lloyd. We're here every Wednesday at noon live on youtube.com/Kings of Influence. And just to get the business out of the way first, if you'd like to get a text from us letting you know when we're about to go live or upload, please text the word Kings to 43506 and you'll get a text, count them, one text, sent to you about when we're about to go live. Ray, how are you?
I'm good, man. Everything's good. Manuary is over.
I know it's February?
February. So Manuary's over. What's up, guys? Everyone in the chat, in the audience there. So Manuary's over. It was very successful.
Cool.
I didn't drink or smoke all month. I worked out 20 minutes a day. I didn't have any sweets. I didn't have any caffeine. I didn't have any soda. Wow. And it was difficult for about a week, but it felt really, really good after that.
Yeah, you said what were the most surprising effects? Everybody, there's some obvious things I feel like will happen, maybe some weight gain or loss, and then you feel less hungover in the morning. But what was the surprises?
Well, I lost about 6 pounds total. Mm-hmm. My anxiety, really, I won't say it went away completely because I'll probably always have sort of that the anxiety disorder of it all, but it's just incredibly manageable now.
That's that coffee, man.
I think caffeine. I think it's that caffeine. I started dreaming. That was probably the most surprising thing.
You never dreamed before?
Yeah, or like you do and you just don't remember them or whatever. And what I noticed about halfway through is I started having these really vivid dreams.
Were you dreaming about coffee?
No. Random shit. And they were just happening over and over and over. And now it's happening every night.
Wow.
And I looked it up, and what they say is if you smoke before you go to bed, it fucks with your REM sleep.
Yeah.
And REM sleep is when you're dreaming.
Yeah, that rapid eye movement.
Yeah, I started putting those two things together.
Well, that's fantastic. So you're pushing it into February. You're going to see what happens. You're just going to roll the dice?
I feel good. So I haven't drank. I haven't smoked yet. I haven't broken it yet. So I'm going to see if I can keep it going. I'll probably break it on Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Have a drink with Kelly and all that stuff.
Yeah. Valentine's Day coming up.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy Valentine's, Lloyd.
Happy Valentine's to you, Ray.
I didn't get you anything.
I didn't. Oh man, I'm going to return that sex toy I bought for you.
No, you're not.
I had a good week. We did the Adam Carolla podcast, which was cool.
Oh, yeah?
I felt like I had better skills on his podcast because of this podcast.
Oh, nice.
I was more comfortable. I had been to that studio before to do the Joe Coy podcast, which was also very fun. But I had more, I was able to like wrap my thoughts better. I didn't say like and and stuff like that as much. And I kind of like, when you go to something like that, a lot of times I would clam up in the past because I'm like, I don't want to say anything wrong or be rude or interrupt anybody. And so just let somebody talk forever. And then like sort of the longer I do this, the more I realize you have to pipe in because that's what makes the ball keep rolling. Yeah. And if you don't say anything, the host is just going to keep talking because you can't have that dead air. So it was really fun to do. I felt good. And Adam and the whole team was actually really cool people. So I didn't think that they weren't going to be, but you never know.
You never know with celebrities and stuff.
Yeah. So if you guys get a chance to listen to that, just look it up, the Adam Carolla podcast, like Epic Rap Battles of History or whatever. It's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
It came
so
out last
you
week.
and Peter were on it? And that's it's the Adam, what's it called? Adam Carolla show, right? Technically?
Yeah.
I'll have to listen to that one.
It was great.
I'll give you my verdict.
Yes, please. Please do. Please do.
Yeah, when you said you were comfortable.
Don't sound it, bro.
Well, we got an interesting show for you today.
Okay.
Guys, we're going to talk about why statistically American football is dying. We're going to talk about a kid named Joshua Trump who's been getting bullied because of his name. We're going to talk about the latest trend with dog owners, and it's a doozy. We're going to talk about a 19-year-old who faked his own kidnapping.
How do you do that?
We'll talk about it. And then we're going to talk about why millennials are getting cancer at a rate higher than any other generation. That'll be fun.
That'll
be exciting.
A nice upbeat way to get through hump day.
Yeah.
Or should we call it lump day?
Oh, God. Too far, bro. Too far.
You're right. So, yeah.
What's that number?
That number is 43506. You can text it the word Kings, and then you'll get a little text from us just to let you know. Hey, because the YouTube, it's big. right? Large, vast. It's bigger than Red Dead Redemption 2. And you never know when something might get uploaded. So you could be subscribed to us, and you might not even know unless you hit that little bell, which you should do. So we send you out a little text to those folks who are subscribed to that number. And it just says, hey, we're about to go live. Come join us. Jump in this tub of water. Come sploosh around with us. You know, we're both in shape. Ray's been doing Manuary. I just wrestle tigers every day. Every day I wrestle.
Yeah, jump in. Take your shorts off. Make yourself comfortable.
You know, just don't fart in the tub. So tell me about football. Dying?
Yeah, so
after that Super Bowl, I don't. That's not surprising.
Right. So the Super Bowl was just a few days ago, and I don't really subscribe to organized sports or anything like that and such. Right. I'm more of a reader. But what they were saying is it's the lowest viewed Super Bowl, least watched Super Bowl in 10 years, and that football as a whole, as a sport, is actually dying. It's dying at about somewhere between 6 to 8%. It's losing between 6 to 8% viewership a year.
Yeah. Well, I believe that for sure because of all the concussion stuff. And I know a buddy of mine who I work with, he played football his whole life, big football guy, loves football. His son, they watch football together. His daughter, they watch football together. And he'll never in a million years let his son play football. Just not going to let him do it. Just because too many people getting hurt, that the helmets, that it's just too dangerous. And I think that is, but the sad thing is low income families are the ones now that send their kids to play football like gladiators. And because, you know, they have the most to gain, the least to lose, but affluent, well-educated families are like, no way, man, not my kid. He's not going to end up, you know, dead on the field at 23 years old or whatever, or not even if it's a concussion thing, or like you break a leg, or like you tear your ACL, or any of that stuff. It's just too hot, too dangerous.
So did your friend who had the kid, did his mind change in the last few years? Like ever since that Will Smith movie came out? Or was this always?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know if the movie is what did it, but definitely, I think it's called
CTE.
CTE. When not all that, you know, Seau, I think the guy's name is Seau. Junior Seau, he was like very, very popular football player, very charismatic, very happy, and he like shot himself in the chest and left a note that says just like help me or whatever. And it just case after case after case after case is coming out, and people are just like,
and he had CTE.
Yeah. And the guy Adam Hernandez, I feel like his name is the guy who went to jail for murder. He was on the Patriots a few years ago. I think it's Adam Hernandez. He killed himself in prison, but post-mortem, they discovered like that guy's got CT all up and down. All these guys do. It's like your brain rattles around in your head, and it would you get concussions on your brain, and it sends you into wild fits. It sends you into depression, ups and down.
Yeah, dementia and depression is what it gives you at an early age.
Yeah. So if you have a compound fracture in your leg, you're lucky if you walk. You know what I mean? If that's all you get. So. And also, I wouldn't be surprised because that game was so goddamn boring, I wouldn't be surprised if it just like trickled off. You know what I mean? I feel like if a game is exciting as it goes, more and more people, you walk by, you go, oh shit, you watching that game? Or you watching the game? And it like grows. It's like a viral video or whatever. And this was the opposite. It was like 3-0, third quarter. It was like a football game. It was like a soccer game.
Right.
It was awful. And it ended 10-3, but it wasn't even that good. You know what I mean? Like that score sounds better than it was. There was no scoring. It was just awful.
Well, now the way you're describing that game is how I sound watching like any sports game. I'm like, what, 3 hours for this? No.
Yeah. Well, you got to buy. I mean, I like watching sports. I'll tell you what, the playoff games, the Kansas City game. So like, you know, the finals, and then they go to the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship. Both of those games were riveting. Overtime, like nail biting, close games. And that's what people love about football. It's like you have a visceral reaction to the sport, and it's set up in such a way to be perfect for television, and so that any little tiny thing by the end of the game can be a huge deal. And when it's good, it's great. Unless you get a concussion and shoot yourself in the face.
Jeez. Well, I imagine the fact that it takes 3 hours to get through one game is part of what's killing, you know, the sport, or maybe even sports in general.
I don't know.
opposed to like esports or whatever. But
Yeah.
because like who has time to sit down and invest 3 hours into one game?
Well, I mean, yeah. I don't know if that would be the problem, because there's so much fantasy sports now that like get people involved.
Fantasy sports are actually going up, which is weird because TV ratings are sliding for other sports, especially football.
Yeah, but I'm saying like fantasy football, like me, like say it's a game between the Vikings and somebody else. I don't know the Vikings. I don't care about the Vikings. But if I play fantasy football and I have a player on the Vikings, it makes every game interesting. So I have a reason to watch it. And I think that type of if fantasy football went away, I think NFL would die in 10 years. I think it would be done. If it became like illegal, if you couldn't do it, that's I think what is driving football right now.
Which is a fantasy?
Yeah, is the fact that you can actively participate with the entire season and bet on it with your money dollars.
Well, what it doesn't have going for it is that, you know, essentially every form of entertainment now is competing with every other form of entertainment.
Yeah.
And we have unlimited options now.
Yeah.
So you've got this 3-hour game that you could watch, or you could go and do 100 other things, a million other things.
Yeah. Or play like you're an actual football player in a video game that looks about as real as you could possibly get.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the apparently like high school and pee-wee football and middle school football and stuff, the signups are decreasing every year, as you can imagine. So we haven't, I don't know if we've hit that generation yet, but we're about to hit a generation where the kids didn't grow up playing.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah, I mean,
for the sport.
I think so. I think it's gonna have to change. I don't know if it'll ever go away completely. You know what I mean? Like even if it declines, it'll still be more popular than hockey. You know, like hockey is still on TV every weekend or whatever. But I think as long as it'll have a market. It's also kind of an expensive game to play. You know, you have to buy all those pads and everything, as opposed to soccer. You just get a ball and you go kick it around. That's why soccer is the most popular sport on the globe.
It's
you need a ball and a couple pairs of shoes. So yeah, it's too dangerous. They have like, I saw this documentary or like HBO Sports or something where they're putting sensors in the helmets that gauge the strength of the hit that you just took and whether or not that damaged your brain.
Oh, wow.
And I think like once stuff like that starts to happen, they're going to be like, no one can play. Like everybody's got a concussion, right? Like this whole team has a concussion.
Coach?
Except for Tom Brady, yeah.
Coach, I don't know what's happening, but my helmet is talking to me.
What's it saying?
It's saying I got the brain damage. I don't know. It's saying I got the brain damage.
Your helmet's not a doctor. Get back in there.
But the helmet is saying I got the pain damage.
All right. Do you want to win this game, Joey, or do you want to have brain damage?
Ooh.
That's what I thought. Get back in there. Yeah, man. It's a fucked up sport.
There's no eye in brain damage.
Yeah, just forget it. Just get back in there.
Jesus, we're terrible. We are terrible.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, it's weird because I grew up in Oklahoma. It's a huge football state, right? So to imagine football not being everything for high school kids and even middle school kids is like crazy to me.
Yeah, it's crazy to me to think of middle school kids tackling each other, which is fine, but they're so also the players are so big now. Back in the day, they're like, oh, rough and tumble, and they were like these gladiator guys, and they were like stinky and smelly, and they would drink their beer and probably fight and drink and fuck. And now these guys are like assassins. These guys are like 6'7", 300 pounds, and can run faster than anybody you've seen before. They're so strong and so smart and so like well put together and well spoken that it's impossible to conceive how hard they're hitting each other over and over and over and over. Or like a center, like the guy who like hikes the ball. Every single play, he's directly in the middle of everything. So even if like, it's like, I read that it's a sort of deceiving position in terms of the amount of abuse that you take, because you might not be getting tackled directly as a center, but you're just getting jostled like every single play you're getting jostled. And if you do that for 20 years, like you're in trouble, man.
Well, yeah, no, I want to say my brother either my brother or one of my friends played center back when we were in middle school, or maybe it was early high school.
Yeah.
And I remember them telling me like that was the absolute worst position to play.
Yeah.
Like every play, you're just like waiting for the pile of men to get off of you.
Yeah.
So that you can stand up and make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Because they just dogpile on you every single play.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I never, ever played football. Never had one. I've played most sports. Soccer, baseball, diving, swimming, gymnastics, wrestled, did some martial arts, did hockey. Never did I ever touch a football.
You didn't play tubalo with your friends?
Tubalo?
Yeah. Like, they don't tackle you, but it's touch two below the waist.
Oh, two below. No.
Yeah, two below.
No, I mean, we'd play like on the, at recess and stuff. We'd play like touch football and whatever.
Or dare I say it, smear the queer.
Oh, no.
As we used to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a game.
That
was what we called it.
That was a game.
Yeah.
It was a terribly named game.
It was.
We did play that.
Okay.
Oddly enough. But the idea of going out for organized football never even crossed my mind. I think I was just always like, I was always small.
Yeah.
So it didn't make any sense to me.
The same reason why I didn't go out.
Yeah.
I'd be the one like Pee-wee kid where the helmet looks giant.
The bobblehead.
Yeah, the bobblehead who can't even hold his neck up when he runs.
Yeah. Help me, I can't get up.
Right.
God, no. Oh, man. Well, I will say Tom Brady's the best football player ever of all time, undisputed, hands down. It's ridiculous.
Why so?
Because he is.
I mean, I don't know anything.
He just won his 6th Super Bowl ring. That's more than most franchises as a whole franchise, and he's one man who won with the same team and the same coach. And he's been to like, I don't know, like 13 AFC championships or something like that. He's at 17 seasons in the league, 13 AFC championships. Something, it's just unbelievable how good he is and how good under pressure he is. And most people were rooting against the Patriots, and I kind of was, but I was kind of riveted by just watching history happen, being like, wow, we're watching right now the best football player ever to exist. And arguably like Jordan.
Yeah.
It'd be like Jordan. And it's just like, it's impressive no matter what you say. I don't care if he voted for Trump or if his wife is Giselle or whatever it is. On the football field, he just doesn't lose. It's crazy.
Is he a big Trump supporter?
I don't think he was not out there campaigning or anything like that, but I think he was a supporter of Trump, as most rich white dudes probably are. But I don't give a shit about that at that point. Like when he's on the full, I don't care about that. I just am impressed that it's like, there's 30 seconds left on the clock. You're down by 1 touchdown. You have 1 chance to drive your team down the field. He does it every time. And he could be getting his ass kicked for, just the whole game or whatever. And he just does it. And you can't believe he does it. And it's unbelievable. The whole team rallies around him. And that's what you want out of a quarterback. He's like a stick shift because he's clutch.
Wow, I feel like you got a little crush on him.
I do have a man crush on him, and I don't know, not at all.
Okay, that's your. I mean, if whatever you're into, man, I don't judge.
Not Tom Brady. Anybody that's that obsessed with winning a football game can't be too obsessed with being good in bed.
That's true.
Not that I would care, but I'm sure.
Was that the guy that sent his dick pics to the reporter? Was that the same football player, or was that a different guy?
I don't know. I'm scared to make Zach look that up because what's he going to find? I doubt it. I don't think Tom Brady sends dick pics.
No?
No. I doubt it.
What kind of man is he? He doesn't send. What do you mean he doesn't send dick pics? How does he get a date?
Look, he doesn't need to. He has them they're like painted portraits. He's just got
wow.
He's got a full-on Picasso dick pic. Do you think women back in do you think guys back in like the 1700s just had someone hire a painter to paint their dick and then deliver it to a chick they were trying to bone?
I would. Totally.
A dick port.
Yeah.
A dick portrait.
Yeah, I'd have like a sketch artist.
Yeah.
Or I'd get really creative and have someone like MC Escher my dick in a kind of a cool way. Like where does it begin and where does it end?
Yeah. I Pollock my dick.
Yeah.
It's just like it's got a disease.
And then you deliver it and she's impressed and then that's how your relationship starts.
There you go. That's what that's easily what happened in the 1700s.
Yeah, that's the origin of the rom-com.
No reports of Tom Brady dick pics.
No Tom Brady.
Then it was a
dick
different
pics.
guy. Then it was a
Tom
different guy.
Brady is the best football player of all time. He doesn't need to send anybody a dick pic. Tom Brady for president 2024. I would vote for Tom Brady. I'd vote for Tom Brady out of pure.
That's a hell of a campaign slogan, I gotta say.
What would it be? Fourth and long?
Fourth and long. Tom Brady never sent a dick pic, ever.
Never. None.
What should we vote for you over any other candidate? Have I ever sent a dick pic?
He's got a point. Tom Brady for president 2024.
Never once sent one. All of these guys probably sent one. What about Kamala Harris? I bet she received one. I never received a dick pic.
Probably received one. Tom Brady, president 2024. Fourth and long, Tom Brady. 4 and long. That's what they would call it. The 4 and long campaign.
4 and long campaign.
Make America win again. That's what they would say.
No, yeah. Look.
No dick pic, Brady.
In today's society, never having sent a dick pic is a pretty good argument for why you should be in the public eye.
Yeah, or not. Do you think Obama sent dick pics?
No, not his generation.
That's not his style. He's too smooth.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's one of those oops, my robe fell open kind of guys.
Whoopsie.
Oh, my bad, baby. And then the Marvin Gaye starts.
Wow, 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 wow. I've been feeling dry.
You think Trump ever sent a dick pic?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tiny little dick pic, little chopstick dick. Just
a chopstick.
Yeah, he's just holding it up with some chopsticks.
He's like checking his oil with it and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh man, he's a dick pic king. He probably sent dick pics to himself just to see.
Never have. Oh my God. Never has a more magnificent dick pic been sent ever in the history of dick pics. We've been looking into it. Never has there been a better presidential dick pic than the one that I am sending out right now.
I'm telling you.
It is fantastic.
I'm wondering when dick pics just becomes third date. Or if that's like 1 year anniversary is paper, 2 years anniversary is wood, 3 year anniversary is a dick pic.
Well, have you ever been on a dating app? It's like an opening line for some people.
I've never been on a dating app.
Yeah, I guess not. That's like an opening line for some people.
Here's their dick?
Yeah, just like, hey, baby, here you go. I mean, talk to any woman who's been on a dating app, and they'll be like, yeah.
The
some
sad
guy's
thing
just open with that.
That it works sometimes.
Well, that's why they do it. In the same way that the Nigerian prince spam works 1 in 1,000.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I still got the money.
Somebody's like, got that. At least we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, at least they're being upfront about it, I guess.
I guess.
Hey, this is all I have to offer.
Yeah.
Just right up front.
Here's what you get.
If you're hoping for good conversation, intellectual meanderings, long walks on a beach, none of that.
Yeah, right. So how'd you guys meet? Well, actually, our first date, I just sent her a picture of my junk, and she went for it.
And it was on.
Yeah. She sent me a picture of her bank account balance, and we were good. You kids on these dating apps, we'll never know. We'll never know if we're going to recover as a species from this generation's dating apps.
Why?
Because it's leading to less sex. It's leading to less procreation. People don't like each other anymore. They'd rather not talk to each other. Pretty soon, it's just all going to be, we're going to decline like football. Remember football? We were talking about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think, I don't know. I think like, there's got to be some good coming from the dick pic, like some? Phenomenon. Yeah, there's got to be some.
I mean, I'd get into it. Maybe travel a lot, you know?
Maybe. Oh, you could do like the travel gnome, like your dick pic next to like the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yeah.
Next to the Statue of Liberty. Here's him next to the Great Pyramid. Here he is with the Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a Where's Waldo kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Or what's that? What's a dick on a shelf?
Yes.
Or it's like elf on a shelf, dick on myself.
Well, maybe that's why maybe that's why the younger generation isn't having as much sex as the generations before it. Is because they don't even know how to get that opening line right.
Yeah, they don't.
Is this how I do this?
Yeah. What do you guys think about? Ta-da!
Right, here you go.
Hey, Ray, why can't we get any sponsors on this podcast?
I don't know. It's weird.
It's weird. Everybody keeps shutting the door right in our face.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like Nick Jr. doesn't want to sponsor us.
I know.
For some reason.
SpongeBob SquarePants people
Hot
have
Wheels.
nothing to do with
Play-Doh.
None of them. The G.I. Joe people said, Kung Fu grip yourselves.
Oh, my God. It's weird.
Anyways.
So imagine that you grew up. So imagine that you grew up with the last name Trump. Like your name was Lloyd Trump. And what you'd be going through today as an adult, much less because first of all, the guy's super famous. I don't know if you heard of him.
Donald,
but he's the president.
the
yes.
Don.
So you would have to end every conversation with, no relation.
Right.
Right. My name's Lloyd Trump, no relation.
Right.
So there is an 11-year-old kid in Wilmington, Delaware, whose name is Joshua Trump.
Okay.
And allegedly,
no collision.
he was getting bullied.
Yeah.
Because of his name in middle school.
Well, at least there's liberals at this school. At least he wasn't made to be a hero.
Well, he was getting bullied, and I guess he ended. It was getting so bad, he ended up leaving school for a year and getting homeschooled. Then he came back and he had changed his name, like he took his dad's name.
Oh wow,
or something like that.
Wait, he took his dad's name. Isn't that always he's supposed to have?
It's a weird thing, man. I didn't ask.
I don't get it.
Like
whose name are we taking now? What's the name of the family? How many hyphens are we supposed to have? How am I supposed to remember this shit?
I'm lost. You lost me. But anyway, so I guess the first lady heard the story and they decided to invite him to the State of the Union address. Invite the kid.
Okay. Did he go?
To represent like anti-bullying. Yeah, I believe he went.
I feel like you want to get bullied, go to the State of the Union address with the guys whose last name you have, and that's just going to get bullied more. Like, that's not going to... I mean, I think it's nice. It's a nice gesture. Nice. It's hard to shit on anybody for, like, trying to help a kid who's getting bullied. Even Millennial, like, it's like, yeah, why are you going to shit on her for having the anti-bullying thing? Like, what's the downside of that? It's a little bit ironic.
Yeah, it's a little bit ironic. Irony in it. That's why, because she's married to a bully.
Sure, but okay. But end of the day, what do you want her to do? You know, she's trying to do something nice. Let's not shit on her. But I don't know if that helps the kid when he gets back to school. I don't know if that raises his cred. If he's getting bullied for having the last name of that guy, and then he goes to that event, who knows? Now, if you really want to help, give him some Secret Service people.
Right?
That's what I would have done.
Just flanking him all day.
Oh, yeah. That would be great. Just get that one kid. Get the biggest kid. Beat the shit out of him right in the lunchroom, right in front of everybody. And then be like, anybody else got a problem with my boy Joshua Trump here? All right, that's what I thought. Eagle 1 is cleared, and then we are out.
They're done.
That's out.
It's just 1 day of service.
That would be great. It's no Secret Service. Secret's out service.
Well, I have to wonder, because without a doubt, the kid was getting bullied, right? Because kids get bullied.
Sure.
Not saying it's okay. I'm just saying that's the way these things tend to work when you're in middle school or whatever. So I'm wondering, was he getting more bullied than, like, say, you or I were getting bullied, or any of our peers were getting bullied when we were kids?
Or do you think there's just more of a focus on somebody getting bullied?
Because
are people using that term over and over?
Well, no, but I'm saying, or is it a focus of a story because of his name?
I mean, I think it's a focus because they brought him to the State of the Union address. You know, they brought a kid. But, I mean, they probably bring a lot of people to that.
Yeah, of course they do. It's a statement. It's always a statement.
To be honest, I have some experience with PR now and what press is. And
I'm impressed. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Like,
I'll show myself out.
A story, you can buy that story. You know what I mean? Like, the way press works, it's not like they go, ooh, what's happening in the world right now? Let me find the biggest thing that's interesting and go cover it. They receive pitches from PR companies that are like, hey, cover this, because we got hired by the White House or whatever to cover this. So the White House was probably like, hey, we're going to invite this kid to get, honored or whatever here for this anti-bullying thing. We're trying to push Millennial's anti-bullying thing, hit up the PR company. The PR company is going to hit the newspapers, and then they're going to put it in the papers. It's not organic news.
No, nothing
it's
is.
So not organic,
no.
Which is...
Nothing outside of a tragedy is.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. So it's not like everybody was talking about it. They're generating that buzz. So who knows how big of a deal it was? Who knows if you got beat up really or not? Maybe you just got called a couple names and they were like, we need this kid. Bring him in.
Well, I was looking into bullying a little bit because I was wondering if kids are getting bullied more now than they were back when you and I were in middle school. And there were some studies showing that the rates of bullying may actually be declining
Yeah,
now.
I think so. If everybody's talking about it as much as we are, like bullying is like the third word out of everybody's mouth in Hollywood now.
Yeah.
They're bullying me. They're bullying me. So that's kind of how things change. You know, like it's not a overnight black and white snap your fingers and there's no more bullying. It's years of hearing that that's not good to do. And then that shifts. And I think we talked about this last week in terms of like what it means to be a man or whatever.
Yeah.
But it used to be sort of accepted. I watched like an old movie from like 1930s at my buddy's house the other day, and it was like this buddy film, and I can't remember the star. Let me just say it was like Frank Sinatra. I don't think it was, but let me just say.
Okay.
And he had a sidekick in the movie. And he was constantly berating his sidekick, who's supposed to be his best friend. Like just calling him stupid and like literally shitting on him. And the sidekick is like taking it and eating it up. Like, and that was what was portrayed as the hero. That guy, Frank Sinatra in the movie, he never gets his or anything. He's the hero. And that's how a hero acted back then. You basically shoved other people down in order to prop yourself up, and that's what you were taught to do. And so now as that shifts, you're starting to see more and more things. Like I saw an ad in the paper, not an ad, a story in the paper about a third grade class who one of the kids in the class had alopecia, which is that disease where you lose all of your hair.
Yeah.
And every kid in the class shaved their head to be like their buddy. Like that's like so heartwarming. You didn't hear like stories like that back in the day. That kid probably would have got bullied and called, I don't know, powder or whatever. And but that's what I would call
Bezos.
them. You know, but you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I feel like there is a gentle shift going to a more loving place. So good, fuck bullying.
Well, also, I think bullying is a big deal now. And I can tell you the moment when that changed, because I remember. It was like every instance of bullying before this moment was like, well, kids bully, it sucks, maybe we'll suspend the bullies, or if a bully messes with you, sometimes you got to fight back. It was that kind of thing. It was just part of being a kid. The moment that the Columbine shooting happened,
right,
which was the school shooting in the 90s,
right,
and when they were profiling the two student shooters, it turned out that they had been bullied really bad, or at least that's what they were claiming.
right.
After that, bullying became a huge deal, and in fact, it was like up to the teachers and the administrators to catch on to it if it wasn't being reported. And if someone did report bullying, you have to like go and address it, because they might come back and put a bullet through other students in the school.
They lash out.
Yeah.
They lash out for sure. Yeah.
It was a big deal. That was the first like mass school shooting that the media caught on to. I don't know if it was the first one in history, but it was the first one that started a
certainly
national
big.
conversation.
It was big.
Huge.
I remember that for sure. Columbine
Right.
will never. I don't think schools will ever be the same after that.
No.
Never. Well, yeah. Well, good. You know, treating each other better. There's no downside to that. None. So
Well,
hopefully
now-
the kid doesn't get bullied anymore. It is weird when you have. I feel like you have to be a responsible parent when it comes to naming your kid. There's so many people that you're like, really? My last name is Wiener, and you're gonna name me Harry? Are you serious right now? Did you not think, like, are you fucking with me right now? Like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? What this some sort of stupid joke? Like, I don't care if it was my grandfather's name. Like, you know what you're doing right now. You should be responsible. If you have a kid out there, for the love of God, don't start his life off with a kick to the shins.
You don't want him. You would name your kid Harry
Harry Wiener? No, I would not. If I have a last name of Wiener, my name making fun of meter is on high alert when I have a child and I'm in the naming phase.
It's Weiner.
Yeah.
Damn it, it's Weiner.
I'm on high alert. A response. Some people, you know, if you're born and you're a gigantic man, you need to be on high alert about where your body goes and if you're going to bump somebody or whatever. If you have the last name Vegeta or Penis, or I had a substitute teacher named Anus, Mr. Anus, A-N-U-S. If you got that last name, you need to be on high alert when it comes to naming your offspring, because
A-N-U-S.
A-N-U-S.
Anus.
Yes.
I'm sure he corrected you all the time.
I was ruthless. I was ruthless
Nice.
to that man. Mr. Annis, if you're out there, I apologize.
Oh my God.
I don't even think I knew. I think I was in 3rd grade.
He has a drinking problem now because of you.
I
know that.
It's like Steve Buscemi in that Adam Sandler movie when I think it's like Happy Gilmore or whatever, where he's just putting lipstick on himself and like about to murder everybody. And the one guy who was nice to him, he saves and spares.
Right.
That would not be me. I would be murdered immediately.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I didn't know what anus was. I just knew when I said Mr. Anus, it got a reaction, so I just kept on doing it.
Oh, we had an assistant teacher one year in the 4th grade, and her name was Mrs. Haynes. And we had a fucking field day with that.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine
Yeah.
you had Mr. Annis.
Yeah. I mean, geez, Louise. Annis? Really?
That poor guy.
That poor guy. And he was a nice looking dude, like normal guy, you know. It wasn't like he was like a weird bookish elf or anything. He would look like a, normal dude.
He wasn't anal?
No, he was not anal at all. Oh boy.
Poor guy. Well,
Yeah.
see, so I imagine now, Mr. Annis is sitting on his podcast.
It's Annis.
Sorry, Mr. Annis is sitting on his podcast talking about the boy Lloyd who wouldn't shut up about his name.
I'm sure. I was, again, I remember I was such a troublemaker in school one time. I had a substitute and I was like, can I just go to the office now? She's like, what are you talking about? It's like, I know by the end of the day, you're going to send me down there anyway in anger. So let's just do it now. What a prick. Who says that? What a prick. Yeah. That was my.
It's like the drunk getting in his car and driving right to the police station.
Yeah, exactly.
Just arrest me.
Just, we all know how this is going to end.
Oh my God.
Just in tears.
Well, if we have time at some point, we'll have to catch Mr. Annis's the Annis anthology.
Yeah.
The Anistology. And see what he has to say about you.
It's all touchy in the end.
And welcome back to the Annis Anthology. I am your host, Mr. Roger Annis.
And I'm the co-host, Butthole Rim Job.
Wow. You didn't even get creative with that one.
I just went for the...
Just. Wow.
There's no time.
And here's my wife, Nipples McSlut. Just wow.
It's I don't know, it's hump day. Hump day.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. You gotta you're gonna like this story. So this is apparently the latest trend for dog owners.
All right.
And I guess it started in North Carolina.
Of course.
But people are putting glitter on their dogs' balls.
What?
I know. You sound just as excited as I do. So
Come on.
So look at that.
That's not real.
No, that's real. There are multiple photographs.
I don't
of it.
ever touch my dog's balls ever. He doesn't have any balls, but I never.
You don't?
No. You have to. Why would you do
What's
that?
wrong with you?
I don't touch my dog's balls.
So it's apparently it's a mix of corn syrup and edible cake glitter, and they color up their dog's testicles.
Oh my gosh! Just to be like, what's up, bro?
I guess it's like a vanity thing. I don't know. The people in India, like, they bedazzle the elephants and shit. So maybe this is just like a version of that.
It's just like a nipple
like
ring.
a weird redneck version of that.
Well, pretty soon they're gonna have like designs and shapes and photos and like little spot pictures and stuff. It's all pit bulls. I bet you it's just all pit bulls.
Well, it has to be.
Yeah. So only that. And why would you make them blue? Blue balls? Come on.
Maybe that's the joke.
That's too easy.
A little bit. Well,
I've never looked at a dog's balls so much ever.
Well, I would do like white with the black squares. It would look like soccer ball, maybe. I mean, get creative with it.
But you don't want to get kicked. That would prompt a little guy to like,
That's true. Well, you know how like women, they show off their engagement ring and stuff. So I imagine these guys, every time you're around them, like, hey man, have you seen my dog's balls?
check out my dog's balls.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Literally, I've never looked in that direction.
I feel like women also show off if they get a boob job. They like show their friends, like, hey, check out these boobs.
Those boob jobs are for her.
Yeah.
Okay, they're for her.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I will stop. Jeez.
said every woman with a boob job ever.
No, I mean, I can understand that if you got a boob job and you're, obviously your husband's gonna see him or your boyfriend or I don't know if you're single, whatever. But like you want to like show somebody you got this thing done. And I also feel like the process of getting a boob job, they're like poking and prodding and measuring and slicing and all these things so much that like it starts to become very normal to just show them off. It's like a project that you worked on that you're finally like, look at the garden. You're like, look at these things. I just made them. They're beautiful. So
Yeah,
maybe
but-
that's the same with the dog balls. I don't know.
But peacocks don't peacock for their own self-esteem. Like, like a
Sure.
peacock doesn't like bust out his tail in the mirror.
I bet he would.
He's doing it to the ladies.
Yeah.
He's doing it to show off.
Yeah.
Hey, look at me.
But like, if you like if you had like a dick job, I don't know what are we talking about today? Why are we talking about this?
I don't know.
If I had like, say I got like a 6-pack implanted, right? Like I got a 6-pack on my stomach muscles.
Okay.
I would want to show that off to as many people as I could,
Yeah, but you wouldn't be like, I got this for me.
No.
You got it for them. You got it to
I got it for me so that because impressing them helps me. It's like a circle. The circle of life. Impressing other people is what makes you, at least for me, you know what I mean? Like if I go to work out and I'm like, oh yeah, it's because I want to look good. It's not because I want to look at myself in the mirror. It's because I like the way it feels when other people think I look
right,
good.
but it's for them. It's to adjust. It's to influence their opinion on you. No one takes a dick pic and sends it to himself.
True.
Again,
Unless I'm trying to Photoshop it.
unless
Then I Dropbox that shit and I
can add some shadows over there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess to bring it back to the dog testicles, like I'm just picturing the application process of this. What do you get? A little paintbrush? You get down there and
Yeah.
the dog probably enjoys it. I can't imagine.
Well, you go to the high quality places and they got the air gun.
They
sure.
got the air gun.
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to be part of like the mani-pedi thing? You get the mani-pedi, you get the,
The
anal-
mani-pedi testy?
Yeah. Gotta get a mani-pedi testy and an anal express. That's what they got to do with those dogs. Gross.
Well, because I'm thinking, where do they get this idea? Are humans doing this? Is there some like dive gay bar in New Orleans
Where
called the Manhole,
yeah,
where all the guys are sort of doing this and parading around or something?
I wouldn't be.
Because that sounds like a good time.
I wouldn't be surprised. There's definitely like a pubic hair dyeing thing that's happened before. You get red, white, and blue on your little happy trail or whatever. So I feel like people get creative with their private parts a lot. I just don't know why you have to bring it to your pets. It's like is it an extension of like some people get their pets like the nails, they like paint the toenails of the dog or they put little like
Sure.
Christmas feet on them and stuff, and it's just not enough for me. I just gotta get his balls. They just gotta be part of this party.
Like, it would look really good on that Doberman, buddy.
What's that, man?
I don't know. Maybe if you added a little tint of purple to his nuts back there.
He's nuts?
Yeah. I could see it now. Just a shiny metallic purple.
I've never done that before.
Oh, it's totally safe. It's edible.
I'm in.
48 hours to lick it right off.
You get home, the dog's tongue is just purple. You're like, bad dog. I know what you've been doing. He's like, what?
I mean, I'm surprised that you can even do it because like dogs can't even eat chocolate, but it can lick cake glitter off its nuts.
Batter? Cake batter off my nuts. Sounds like a Snoop Dogg song. Yeah, baby, lick that cake batter off my nuts.
Right, back when he was going through that sort of funk phase.
Yeah.
Cake batter on my nuts.
Cake batter,
For shizzle.
get off me. All y'all bitches want frosting.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, you get
The beat by Dre and shit.
You get Nate Dogg in there.
Oh, yeah.
Lick puss every day.
Hold up.
The cat's just in the corner like, dude, your balls got painted blue, just like making fun of the dog.
It's the DOC all up in the cut. Got to put some paint glitter on my nuts.
Oh boy.
That was of course Dre.
Yeah.
Dre cameo.
Dre. Eminem comes in.
Where's-
I like the green ones.
I put some paint on my testicles. It's the festicles.
Yeah,
He does that whole thing. Yeah, that's one of the weirder stories. I want to spoil that for you.
I'm surprised I didn't even see that on CNN.
No?
CNN puts up some stupid ass
Well,
stories.
They didn't have a good enough PR campaign. Is
Yeah,
what
there
it
you
is.
go. They got to hire the right company.
Exactly. Well,
I need a breath.
it's about that time, sir.
Yay.
You want to explain what Stoner Thoughts is?
Aww.
And thank you guys for sitting with us through that odd conversation.
What are we talking? I actually like this podcast today. We're just talking about whatever. Well, and talking about whatever. Stoner Thoughts is the segment that we like to do on the show where we, similar to Shower Thoughts, the popular online meme, we tell you something that you probably would only say when you're 3 spliffs to the wind. When you're
high.
When you're high off that grass. Off that special weed. So, and then they spawn conversations because we're conversative people.
We got this. We got this.
Conversative.
That's
is
a word.
Is it?
That's a word.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hell
Sure.
yeah.
Sure, totally.
And you guys feel free to play along.
As I got you. Men who behave overly masculine, drive big trucks and all that, are accused of being insecure with their masculinity, whereas women who behave overtly feminine are not accused of being insecure with their femininity. Whoa. That was a long one.
That was more like, that wasn't a stoner thought. That was like a grouchy thought.
Basically.
That was a blue balls thought. That guy needed to get laid.
Well, right. So basically, masculine guys are looked at as insecure, feminine women, like manly men are looked at as insecure, girly girls are not looked at as insecure.
I don't know, dude. If you got a girl with like a tiny dog in your purse, which to me is super feminine, I hate that shit.
I don't like it either, but I don't necessarily look at it as insecure. No one's like, because you look at the guy with the big truck and you're like, oh, look, what is he compensating for? Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's a cliche at this point. But what about the woman with the...
I say no one... I look at a girl with a tiny dog in her purse and I go, no one can stand you except for that dog.
Basically.
Yeah.
Which is... There's science in that, I'm sure.
I want to buy an eagle and train it to eat only small dogs. And just swoop in and grab that dog straight from the purse. And I have dogs. I love my dog. She's very small, but not that small. But like, just because those dogs are the size of eagle food. Literally, it's just eagle food. And I think you could probably get 4 or 5 dogs a day. And in a couple of months, if I get this eagle business going, I feel like we could rid this city of small dogs on the whole. Or not on the whole, but you would think twice about bringing it to the CVS.
So how do you profit from that?
You don't. I just live in a better world. I improve the world where I live.
So it's a charity, really.
I'm doing it for you.
Okay.
It's just like if I got a 6-pack. I'm doing it because of you.
Right. Your breast implants are for me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Stoner Thoughts.
Having the urge to masturbate is your body telling you to go fuck yourself.
Whoa.
I never thought of that.
That's pretty funny.
Kind of.
Yeah. I guess so.
Hey, buddy, go fuck yourself.
Oh, don't mind if I do.
Well, you should punish me more often, body.
Stoner Thoughts.
Getting the last word in person feels like winning. Sending the last text feels like losing.
Ooh. Whoa.
Yeah, definitely.
Sending the last text does feel like
it's
losing.
a lose-lose. Or it's a you lost.
Yeah.
Not even a lose-lose.
Just unsubscribed from the conversation.
Just done. Just like I completely got off this train and left you on it.
I hate arguing over text. I can't stand it. It's so hollow and I can't even describe what it feels like. It's just worse because all you get is that one sentence to try to digest like all the things pre-packed and loaded in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it just spits at you off the screen, you know? Ugh, I hate it.
And you're like left wondering, well, why didn't they write me back? Am I not important enough?
Yeah. Or you're like checking your phone every other 5 minutes to see like, you really gonna do me like that?
Right.
You know? And then you're distracted all day.
I hope she had to go to work or something.
Yeah. Like she couldn't bring her phone to work.
Stoner Thoughts.
Romeo and Juliet isn't even a love story. It's basically a 3-day relationship between 2 kids that caused 6 deaths.
Whoa.
Your move, Shakespeare.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, they die.
Yeah. It really is. I never really took Romeo and Juliet seriously. Because I'm like, you're 12. Shut up.
Yeah.
You don't know anything.
I never liked Shakespeare in general. And I know everybody does. I just can't hang. I could never hang with it. I can't understand what you're freaking saying, man. I don't get it. It's supposed to be all poetry. But did people really understand language when it was spoken like that back in the day? Like, or were those just like music lyrics that people would memorize and then just dissect? Like, I don't get how that got so popular.
I mean, yeah, it was like probably like the pop songs of the day. They didn't have all of these like video games and whatever the kids do these days, Jenga,
Yeah.
or whatever, to like compete with the local theater. So what was going on in the local theater? That was the jam.
Yeah. If I could get in a time machine, I would just go back to that time machine and then make a play out of Forrest Gump. Be like, I'm the genius. I'm the best storyteller of all time.
So if you could like go back to the 80s, you would just start rapping, Eminem lyrics or something and be like, I invented this.
I'd be like, what's my name? That's right. And then Eminem would be like, how did this happen? Sorry, Marshall.
And then you would accuse him of ripping you off.
Yeah.
That's
Totally,
the way that goes.
Totally.
Stoner Thoughts.
If crack cocaine gets smuggled into the country inside someone's rectum, when it's smoke, that person is smoking butt crack. Whoa, that's sort of the dad joke of Stoner Thoughts.
It really is.
But I liked it.
I know. You're the stoner dad. I
Yeah.
know plenty of those.
I'm sure. Especially nowadays, now that the weed is being very tolerated
Everywhere.
everywhere.
I know. I was in a bar the other night. Everybody was smoking weed.
In the bar?
In the bar.
Wow.
Right out and open in the bar. Some guy lit up a cigarette and they're like, whoa. It's like, guys, this secondhand smoke is still smoke.
Yeah.
Like tobacco smoke and weed smoke, still smoke. But weed
I
is
love
just
it. They're so
completely-
offended. Whoa, buddy.
I know.
Whoa. Oh, that's what everyone else in here was smoking. I didn't know.
I'm not a smoker, but if I smoked cigarettes and everybody was around me smoking weed, you would have a hard time getting me to put out my cigarette. I'd be
Yeah.
like, eat my junk.
Yeah. I'd be like, well, put out your joints.
Yeah.
Well, I got the cataracts, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, bullshit.
All right. Well,
Stoner Thoughts.
If skydiving was the last thing on your bucket list, you don't need to bring a parachute.
whoa.
That'd be a hell of a way to go out.
Yeah, because you're not technically skydiving once you pull the parachute, then you're parachute.
Right.
So it's two sports in one.
Well,
But you can only finish one sport by doing the other sport.
Well, imagine going up in the plane and they're giving you all the instructions and everything. You've got the instructor there, and he's like, all right, you pull the cord and you do the thing and you strap it here, and all this stuff, and then before you do any of that, you're just like, all right, bye.
I'm dead. I'm gonna die.
Bye.
I mean, that's
What if they try to come after you?
after you're dead?
No,
Oh,
like as you're falling,
like Point Break style?
Point Break style, yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't think anybody would have the presence of mind to do that, but who knows? Like,
I mean, if I wouldn't, if I were an instructor, I'd be like, well,
He
we should
wants to die.
land this plane and see if he's okay.
just splattered all over the cornfield.
Well, his problem can't be my problem. Come on.
I feel like that would be a terrifying way to die because you're going to be alive. It's not like you're unconscious when you're falling. You don't go unconscious. Not at all. I think as you start to approach the ground and you see it coming at you faster and faster, that might change the experience some. But I've skydived and you're very cognizant the whole time.
Yeah, you don't tune out or anything like that.
No.
Start thinking about, some of the stuff you have on your schedule later in the week, that brunch
Well,
you have that you might want to cancel.
could do. I mean, I guess if you've skydived enough, you could be that I do that during improv shows sometimes. I'll be like, I've been in so many shows. I'll be in the middle of a scene sometimes, or on the side being like, why am I so hungry right now? And then be like, oh shit, I got to do this. So I definitely could see somebody being distracted after doing it so many times. But if you had no parachute in your backpack there, you'd be very awake.
Well, there's also no undo button.
Yeah.
Once
right.
you jump, that's it.
Apple Z.
That's it. No, you're done.
Yeah. Yikes.
Well, they say, a lot of suicide attempts are cries for help. And that one's not, you're not going to get any help after you jump out of a plane with no parachute.
That's a dive. For
You're
help.
done.
Yeah.
Hey, yo. Oh, where are we going?
What do we got?
Stoner Thoughts.
If someone working minimum wage saved 100% of their money, it would take 60 times longer than humans have existed to catch up to Jeff Bezos.
Oh God.
Whoa. Doesn't that make you feel poor?
Oh God, he's so rich.
So much money.
He's so rich.
He holds all of his money in a vault built out of some of his money.
Yeah, just concrete money.
Yeah, just money. Exactly. Just coins all glued together.
A platinum safe. Like, I bet you platinum's pretty hard. Couldn't.
I imagine.
Yeah,
that's more for show. I mean, he's single now, so.
Right. So platinum is more valuable than gold, right?
I think it is.
Certainly. Certainly when you get a record.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't buy that shit. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I know that gold is very soft as a metal.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if platinum is also soft, or if it's harder. I don't know.
These are the really important questions.
Just keep me up at night when I dream.
Exactly. But if you had all that money, the thing is you have to like find some way to sort of Scrooge McDuck. You got to take like $100,000 and put it in some kind of bin, right? Not in coins, because that wouldn't work. Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah.
You do it in cash.
Yeah.
And then you got to go swim in it.
Scrooge McDuck style.
Yeah, you got to Scrooge McDuck it.
I mean, if you did have that much money, I would want to lash out in some sort of, I don't know, act of extravagance. You know, they always have those scenes where like there's a woman lying in bed all naked and cash all over her. A pool full of cash money would be fun, but it also, that would hurt. In reality, you would just land on it like,
yeah, probably.
Ouch.
Probably all kinds of paper cuts and stuff.
Yeah, especially if it was coins. Ouch.
So if I had all that money, I think I would be petty with it. Like someone cut me off in traffic and I would buy a billboard that has a picture of their car and them. It just
F this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay away from this guy. That's just, instead of sending a text, been trying to text you, figured I'd get your attention this way. Just your dick pic on there.
Oh, hope you take this highway. Just a billboard of my dick pic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Stoner thoughts.
Are you deaf is probably the least useful questions to ask someone.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. How do no explanation for that. You just would never hear the person say that.
Come again?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You were saying what?
You
were asking something.
Yeah.
No, I'm very much alive.
I know. I want fries with that, please. Thank you.
I'm asking if you're deaf.
Are you able to hear the words coming out of my mouth?
Can you blow me where the Pampers is?
Gross.
It's a reference. It's a reference to a movie. I'm not that gross.
Oh, what movie is that?
That is PCU.
Oh, okay. A young Ryan Gosling?
No, David Spade, Jeremy Piven.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the? Yeah, I don't know who the lead
Whoever
was.
played Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, Ryan
No,
Reynolds.
you're thinking of Van Wilder.
Oh, yeah, I guess I am.
Yeah, I don't know who that actor is. I don't know if he's a lead in anything anymore. Not the main guy.
It's Jeremy Piven with hair.
It's Jeremy Piven. He's balding though, which is weird. He's like a college senior and he's balding.
Already. Yeah.
And then David Spade is one of the other antagonists, if you will.
Antagonists.
Yes.
All right.
So I got to tell you about this 19-year-old from South Carolina. This 19-year-old kid faked his own kidnapping to get a $130 ransom from his mom.
$130,000?
$130. Dude needs to raise his standards.
Oh my god.
So he I guess he sent like a rant. I don't know if he sent a note or a voicemail or what, but he pretended to be the kidnappers and he said he would kill him. They would kill him if she didn't put money in $130 in the mailbox.
I'd give it to him out of just creativity.
He got arrested because I guess she called the police and was like, "My son has been kidnapped."
What did he do? Like put drag marks? Oh, what was the scenario? How did he get kidnapped? Was he snatched into a van? Did they put a paper sack over his head and then push him into a boat? And
I think he just didn't come home for like a day and a half.
And then he's put like a little thing on his voice like, "This is the kidnapper. If you ever want to see your son again."
Well, that's
send $130.
Kidnapping 101 is that if you call, you gotta do the handkerchief on the phone, or you gotta put
the handkerchief on the phone. I don't think it does anything.
So that's what they do in the movies. Or you got to do the ransom note, which are letters cut out of a Newsweek.
Yeah, piece
Pasted
together.
on together.
But that would take so long. Like, God, that would be awful. What a awful
You could hire someone to
arts
do
and
it.
crafts Really? Put an ad on Craigslist?
About $130.
Ransom notes are us. Do you want to kidnap someone? You're going to need some correspondence, am I right? We're the company for you. We're very good at placing letters from an assortment of magazines
Right.
and fonts into any message you would like. Birthday cake? We can do that too.
Then they put the toll-free number on the screen and everything, and you call, and they're like, "Hello,
Yeah.
ransom notes are us."
Yeah. And the 1-800 number is all like different number
Right.
fonts. That's what we're going to do after this.
We should get into
Career.
advertising.
Yeah. What a dummy. Oh,
I don't think he thought this one through.
How old is he?
19. He's an
19?
adult, technically.
Why is his mom owe him $130? That's like
Why are you victim blaming the mom? Why does she owe him?
just give the kid
He
his
is
money.
entitled to that $130.
Maybe he worked very hard to earn that money. And she's ripping him off and she's got it coming.
He mowed the lawn. He cleaned his room. He painted the fence.
He kidnapped a kid.
He applied for a couple of jobs on Monster.
Yeah.
He did everything she told him to do.
He's got that money coming to him. Don't be a hard up. Give him his money.
But she didn't have. She needed it for diapers for the other kid,
Oh, I
for
know.
the half brother. You see,
Wow, jeez. How long did he say he was missing for? A couple days? She calls the cops and then they just track him
I don't
down
know.
in a
but,
shed?
But he got arrested. He's currently being charged with blackmail.
Now he's really
So he's getting in
kidnapped.
trouble,
Now he got
yeah.
kidnapped by the cops.
He's getting out. He's
and his
gonna be
mom
out.
is pressing charges? What a family.
I don't know if the mom presses charges or if the state presses charges.
Oh. Maybe the state just like, don't do that, man.
Honestly, if she pressed charges, if she had to, I wouldn't call her a bad mom.
No. I don't
Sometimes
think so.
you got to teach him a lesson. It's like when who was it? Mark Wahlberg's mom left him in jail or some old story when he was a young dude.
I believe that. Yeah.
Like basically they had the option to like so he could get off or he could spend like a small amount of time in jail, and she's like, send him to jail
yeah, that's how they do it in Dorchester.
because he needed to learn. And I think he tells that story to this day, and I'm totally messing up the story, but he tells that story to this day as like, yeah, I learned. I
Yeah.
don't want to go back there.
If I was the judge, just to be a ball buster, I'd set the kid's bail at $130. Have the mom give the kid the money, and then just make the kid pay the money right there. Like that's your lesson. I got arrested when I was a kid, and I had to write a paper. That's what the judge made me do. I had to write a paper about alcohol abuse.
What are you, Bart Simpson?
Yeah, I don't know. Ask the judge. I didn't say it. He made me do it.
All right. So tell the whole story. Alcohol
So
abuse.
in my high school, me and my two best buddies, on the day we graduated, on graduation day, we like, it's like nostalgic, and you're going away to different colleges, and you're not gonna be buddies anymore. So we got like a 6-pack of like, or like a 30, I think it was like a 30-pack we had, and we walked from my house to like a golf course up the street from where we were, and it was like the most innocent fucking thing ever. It was like 3 guys, and I had like, honestly, I had gotten like super drunk the weekend before, so I was like, I can't touch beer or whatever. So I had like half of one beer. We just sat there, like talked about old times and talked about what we were gonna do. Just talked about life, sipping these beers. We weren't even getting too wasted. So it starts raining, and I can literally walk to my house from this golf course. So I'm walking home, and I'm 18 and they're like 17, and so I have this backpack full of beer in my backpack, and all of a sudden, cop rolls up. It's like, what are you guys doing? There's 2 cops. And I'm like, nothing. He's like, what you got in that backpack? And I'm like young, and I'm like, I figure maybe I'll just tell him the truth. I'm like, it's beer. Cuffs, puts us in the back of the car, arrests us, throws us in the car, drives us to the station. Like they're 17, so they get released right away. I'm 18, so I have to spend the night like there till my dad comes in the morning. My dad comes in there.
Oh shit.
And he goes, what's going on? And they go, we found your son. And he's like, found him what? He's like, we found him having beers. He's like, where? Like on the golf course. He's like, the one up the street from the house. He's like, with who? He's like, Nate and Eric. He's like, his 2 best friends, they graduated today. He's like, yeah, they had beers. How many? They had 7 beers. He's like, give me my son. We're getting the hell out of here. I was like, Dad, you're the best. So the funny story is, so as I'm walking out of there, I'm walking out, and I look at there's like a photo with all the officers, like a picture of all the officers of town. And all the photos are like shoulders, head and shoulders and just like a photo, like it looks like a
Yeah.
high school photo.
Like the bust.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
Except for one. There's one photo of a guy in full squat, like SWAT gear, knee pads, helmet, shotgun with a German Shepherd. And
Okay.
he's in that like kneeling pose. And if that's the guy who arrested us, like that,
The guy that took his
go-getter,
job seriously.
that's the guy who arrested us. I'm like, this motherfucker. So then I had to go to like court and write a paper about alcohol abuse because I had beers with my friends on graduation day. Stupid. But that was one time when my dad really stepped up to bat. It was like, you morons.
And so to this day, you never drank again?
Yeah, never have I ever had a sip of alcohol ever since. That did it. Really pushed me over the edge.
Damn. So what if your dad had left you in jail for a day? What do you think? What would have happened?
I mean, it wasn't the jail at the place was just like a holding cell. So there was nobody else in there. I was just, and there was like 7 of them and they were all empty. Not a lot of crime going on in my hometown in New Hampshire. So I was mostly just bored and I just went to sleep and it was a little cold. Like it wasn't scary or anything. I guess if they had left me in jail, like there was no cell phones then or anything.
Yeah.
So they just called them. And if he had left me there, I think I'd have been like, "Are you all right, Dad? Like, what's happening? What's going on?"
I'm just wondering if it would have like taught you a lesson in the way that it did Mark Wahlberg.
No, I think he got arrested for beating the crap out of somebody. I think is what happened to him.
Your dad?
No, Mark
Wahlberg,
Wahlberg.
yeah,
I think he
okay.
physically assaulted somebody and really hurt somebody.
I think he did too.
That's what the story.
I think
was.
I want to say he took the guy's eye out or something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it was something pretty. And I feel like it was like race related.
Yeah.
Back in the day, so that's a little different than having a couple of Milwaukee's bests with your.
I don't know.
I don't know. This
I don't know, man. Rules is rules.
Yeah. So
Rules are rules.
yeah, it's the story.
So I got some. I don't know if I'd call it sad, but it's just something to talk about because it was a slow news week.
Yeah.
According to the American Cancer Society, millennials are getting cancer at a rate higher than any generation before it.
Buh.
So people born in the 80s and 90s are starting to show more signs of cancer than the generations at their
Before?
age. Yeah, at their
Because
age.
of obesity.
Right, linked to obesity-linked cancer is
Oh my
to be
gosh.
more specific.
And what are the obesity cancers? Like, is it? I mean, I don't know, colon cancer. Or?
Yeah, it's like colon, and it's funny. I almost wrote those down, but I was like, Lloyd's not going to ask what kind of cancers they are. But there's like 6 different types of obesity-linked cancers that are on the rise in millennials because
they eat like shit.
we're fatter.
Yeah,
We eat like
And there's
shit and play
more of
video
us.
games.
I feel like that's the next thing to have to like. Even McDonald's knows it's gross for you, and they're like marketing campaigns all reflect that. I'm just so surprised that people still eat that shit. And it's not only fast food; it's just you can get fat eating anything.
Right.
But good God, there's so many ways to distract yourself. There's so many ways to be detached. There's so many ways to be another person online that you're just fine with whoever you are in the real life, and you just sort of deal with it. But good Lord.
Well, if you looked at Instagram or some of these places, you would think, oh, we're not a fat people. We're obsessed with how good our bodies looked, and we take pictures of our healthy food and
Right.
all this shit. And statistically, that's just not true.
Yeah.
We're fat as hell.
And you live honestly, if you've never lived in Los Angeles, it is not a real slice of the world. It is. I feel like the number one in like every king and queen of the prom moves to Los Angeles.
Right.
So it's that. It's also. I mean, to be honest, it's great to be healthy. You can get. I never have a problem getting a lettuce wrap. I go to Denver to try to get a lettuce wrap. Good luck. Or like Milwaukee. Good luck. Not only do you have to deal with not getting the lettuce wrap, the guy in line's gonna beat your face in just for saying it.
For just asking, can I get a lettuce?
This ain't lettuce wrap country. And it's cold over there. So you got to have a couple more pounds on your butt. The country as a whole does not look like Los Angeles. And you
No.
forget that if you live here a long time. Like when we went on tour, you're in the middle of like Albany and you're like, "Oh yeah. I went from like I go from like a 4 in Los Angeles to like a strong 8 in Albany, New York. Like,
Are you calling our fans fat?
no, I'm just calling. I'm saying it's an overabundance of beautiful people in LA, and it like throws the whole meter off.
Yeah.
you know.
Every time I go home, back to Oklahoma. I like get off the plane. I'm walking to the airport. I'm like, oh, a 300-pound woman. I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah.
We're in a different part of the country.
Yeah.
It's like striking every time because I forget.
It's hard. It's hard to imagine how you can let yourself go like that. I understand it's a disease, and there's a whole, it is, I feel like I'm, when you're talking about obesity, it's easy to be on thin ice, if you know what I mean.
Hey,
Just like, it's a tough, I understand that I have addictions. People have addictions. Everybody's got addictions. But that one is tough because if you're addicted to porn, right, and you're like, fuck it, I'm going cold turkey on porn. I'm never going to look at porn again.
okay.
You don't need porn to live. You know what I mean? Like, you have to eat
Yeah.
on some level. Same with alcohol or weed or anything. Like, you don't need booze or weed to live. A food addiction is the only type of addiction that you still need to have a relationship with that drug. And that I have to assume is really challenging. But at the same time, get off your ass.
Well, I'm not convinced that the people with the problem are addicted, although some of them might probably are. I think a lot of people are big just because they don't give a shit and their behavior.
And they like the taste more than the way it feels. I mean, more than the result.
Yeah, and there's so many options in our face. There's so much fast food on every corner.
Yeah.
And there's so many reasons to sit at home on your ass.
Yeah.
And play on your phone or play computer and not get out and do active things. I got some stats for you. So obesity is increasing from generation to generation. 40% of adults are
40%?
40 from
In
what
the United States?
From what I was reading, yes. But also, it doesn't differ that much in most of the developed world. Like, we're fatter, but not by that much.
And we're just more of us. There's just more, like...
There's a lot of Americans, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like if you go to Canada, it's not that much better.
Yeah. But it's like if you say like nobody's lost more Super Bowls than Tom Brady.
Okay.
If you say it like that, you're like, oh, it can't be. That sucks. But nobody's lost more Super Bowls than Tom Brady because he's been to the Super Bowl more times than anybody else.
Well, no, I still think because of all the corn syrup and stuff, we are statistically fatter if by a person-to-person comparison.
Oh.
But so it's like apparently 18% of kids and young adults, 18% are overweight.
That's a hard one to get out. Like once you get fat like that,
As a kid?
yeah, your body forms. Like I feel like because I was athletic as a kid, I'll always, even if my body looks different, I know what it felt like to be athletic. So I can, it's like a light at the end of the tunnel if I'm trying to get back to that point. If you never had that feeling in your life, that must be very difficult.
Yeah, but I'm sure they don't even know.
Yeah.
What it feels like. Like
Right.
I'm sure it probably isn't difficult because they're like, I don't know what that feels like.
And I hear it's just a cycle of shame and guilt and sorrow and, you know, like you said, like you haven't been eating caffeine and you feel less anxiety and all these things that are great. That type of food, probably you're not putting great food in your body, so it's not making your body or your emotions feel good either anyway. So to be motivated is hard.
Right. And listen to this. So the percentages are different if you break it down by race. Like so 18% of kids are obese, 25% if you just look at Latino kids. And 22% if you just look at black kids.
And so white kids are less obese
than those two, but 18% overall for all kids. But if you look at just Latinos, it's 25.
That's surprising to me. I didn't realize, like, Latinos, I would never have guessed that. I wonder why that is.
It's probably it's probably closely related to income, I'm guessing too.
Yeah. Or an education about like what's good food, what's not good food.
Because lower income tends to eat more fast food and that kind of stuff.
But I don't see. I always consider Latino folks. I always equate them with hardworking people. So
it's because you're racist, yeah.
That's like a good type of racism, you know. But like I don't picture those guys sitting on their couch not doing shit to getting fat. That's just not how that's just not the image I have. So that's surprising to me, huh?
No,
Wow.
no, not when you look at the whole country.
Yeah.
Look at the whole country. It's the Latinos are fatter, and then you got the brothers,
Yeah.
and then you got the crackers, and then the Asians are the most
Very
fit.
healthy.
Yeah,
And I feel like it is a genetic thing. Like sometimes you'll see somebody and you're like, this dude eats Burger King every day and he's skinny as a pole.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what he's doing. He's just burning it off, and then somebody else, they get to did they just look at a hamburger and they gain a pound or two?
that's me.
Oh, yeah?
Well, it's like this thing when you're not that tall. You know how it is when
Yeah.
you're not that tall. Like,
Yeah.
and you gain a pound. It's like the Christina Aguilera gains 5 pounds, and it
Yeah.
looks like it's a lot more because she's not that big.
I lost about 8 pounds 2 years ago, and you could completely see it.
Right.
In my whole face. Like I get like that puffy face, like, ugh. So I don't like it. It doesn't and every time you look in the mirror, you get a little shot of negativity rather than a little shot of positivity, That's for me anyway.
You got those like tall guys who are kind of fat, but they don't look fat
Yeah.
because they're just like carrying it well, like that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Doesn't really work with a dumpling body shape like myself.
Right. Exactly. When you got that Hobbit body.
Hobbit.
Well, brother, that is everything. That's everything I had planned to talk about today.
Wow. We did it.
I don't know if we're gonna crown a king or not.
Who can I think of? Yeah, I can think of something. What do I got? What do we got? What do we talk about?
Who's the
today?
king of influence? So we talked about, it's kind of a weird one this week. We talked about football dying.
Yeah.
We talked about Melania Trump and Joshua Trump.
Uh-huh.
We talked about dog owners glittering their dogs' balls.
Okay.
Talked about a 19-year-old who faked his own kidnapping.
Okay.
And then we talked about millennials getting cancer.
I'm going to give the crown to Super Bowl champion Tom Brady.
Oh, God.
The best football player of all time. And Bill Belichick. I'm going to give him the crown just because we talked about football.
Okay.
And then I'm going to have to give the jester to anyone who's ever put glitter on their dog's balls. Anyone who ever even had that thought, I might have to give myself the jester now just for hearing that.
So I think the king of influence is Joshua Trump.
Okay.
Because why not? Hopefully he gets out of his bullying situation.
Right.
And excuse me, I give the jester to any dog owner who glitters their dog's balls.
Anybody with balls on their mind. Yeah, find something else to do.
And stop touching your dog's testicles.
Right?
It's weird.
And first of all, spay and neuter your pets. First of all.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, has Bob Barker taught us nothing? Unbelievable. Well, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is the Kings of Influence. We're here every Wednesday at noon. We do a live stream on YouTube, and then we put it out on every platform for podcasts there are.
Spotify, what are the others? Stitcher.
iTunes, Apple Music, Stitcher.
Probably some other stuff.
SoundCloud, I believe. Everywhere you can find us, ingest us, eat us good. And then also, if you want to get a text from us when we're about to go live, you can text the word Kings to the number 43506. And then we, and by we, I mean Ray, usually does the texting. We'll text you just a quick note that we're about to go live.
It's from both of us.
It
The
is.
texts are from both of us.
Aww.
Like your Christmas presents are from both your parents. And you're like, Dad didn't wrap this. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That is our time. Stick around for the chat afterwards. And know that we love you. We'll be here next week at Wednesday, noon o'clock.
Okay. Talk to you guys later.
Hey.
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Break it down. What?